another Library Lowdown, the program that acquaints you with all the great materials available at the Billerica Library. My name is Priscilla Vaughn, and I am the Assistant Director at the Library. My co-host is Barbara Flaherty, the Library Director. After a very mild beginning to winter, if you've been out recently, you know that we have gotten lots of cold weather. What I did is I brought along a selection of materials available at the library, and I call these materials Icy Tales for Winter Reading. The first one that I brought along that I want to show you is called Antarctica, Journeys to the South Pole. These are stories, individual stories, of the various expedition parties that uncovered the frozen continent, including James Cook, who explored the Antarctic Circle in 1773, Roald Amundsen, he was the first to reach the South Pole, and Ernest Shackleton, he was the first to attempt the transcontinental crossing. So this is Antarctica. It talks about 3 or 4 different expeditions to the Antarctica and the South Pole. South Pole. There's only one.
Just one.
2 poles, 1 south, 1 north. Got that, okay. The next one is titled The Endurance. This is Shackleton's legendary Antarctic expedition. A lot of publicity around this one when it first came out. And his legendary expedition was a glorious failure. Shackleton attempted to become the first transcontinental trekker of Antarctica, and it turned into one of the all-time survival stories in the annals of adventure. Unfortunately, World War I kind of deadened the interest. It happened at the same time as World War I, so there wasn't a lot of interest in Mr. Shackleton's plight because of what was going on in Europe. Actually, the interest developed after he reached the South Pole in 1909, and he organized a landing party and got lost. No, let me see what he organized an expedition, and the expedition got lost. This is after the grand failure. And what happened was he had to retreat, and the majority of this book talks about his fortitude and his resourcefulness and just the plain luck of the crew that they survived. And it's a great retelling of a very popular story. So this is The Endurance. This is Shackleton's legendary Antarctic expedition. Maybe nonfiction isn't your thing. Those both were nonfiction or true stories. Well, the Antarctic has a lot of takers for fiction, too. Maybe you want your icy tales with more adventure and less reality. My next 2 selections fit that bill. The first one is called The Ice by Louis Charbonneau. This is a suspenseful echo thriller which begins when marine biologist Kathy McNeely finds oil-soaked penguins in a part of Antarctica where no oil spills have been recorded. What seems at first the residue of an earlier disaster soon acquires more sinister implications. Experienced adventure novelist Charbonneau convincingly presents the psychological and technical problems of Antarctic survival. The characters are pretty conventional, but they are appealing. For example, there are huskies in this book that are just adorable. Their personalities are as distinct as the humans in the book. But the real protagonist of The Ice is Antarctica itself. So try this. Charbonneau's passion for this land, you can tell when you read the book how he is passionate about Antarctica. But if you like your doses in fiction and not reality, there's one suggestion for you. The second one I brought along is a science fiction. And this book, called Antarctica, takes place in the near future. Wade Norton has been sent to Antarctica to investigate rumors of environmental sabotage. He arrives on the frozen continent and immediately begins making contact with the various scientific and political factions that comprise the Antarctic Society. What he finds is a good blend of inhabitants. He also begins to uncover layers of the Antarctic culture that have been kept hidden from the rest of the world. Things are brought to a head when the saboteurs launch an attack designed to drive humans off the face of Antarctica. So there you've got your adventure, your eco-thriller, or if you like true, we've got that for you too. Now, maybe through your armchair traveling through the winter, you decided, hey, this might be a trip I want to take. Well, we can help you there too. This is the Lonely Planet series, and this is the question it asks is, are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? You can gape at the icebergs looming over your ship. You can stand awestruck in the midst of a teeming penguin colony, or glimpse a minke whale servicing next to you. It says Antarctica will astound and transform you. The authors of this are quite knowledgeable about the region, and this one can be used for both the actual and the armchair traveler. Actually, the pictures are cool, and the information is great.
Up to date, too.
Up to date, absolutely. Now, again, maybe you would rather watch or listen than you would rather read. This one is a book on tape, and the title of this one is called Icebound. This is a true story, and it's the story of Dr. Jerry Nielsen. She was a physician stranded at a South Pole research station who made headlines, her amazing story. The Antarctic winter has temperatures of 100 degrees below zero and virtually shuts supply lines down completely. And the conditions are so treacherous that nothing, planes, boats, nothing comes in. During the winter, Dr. Nielsen, who was a physician, she was the only physician there, discovered a lump in her breast, and consulting via satellite and email, she talked with doctors in the U.S. and treated herself until a daring rescue in October could get her to medical care. And this, we have this book in printed form, but we also have a book on tape. And last but not least, we have good old National Geographic. If you're interested in finding out more about Antarctica, National Geographic is the place to go. So I'm going to now turn the program over to Barbara, who's going to talk about some painting that you can do.
Yeah.